All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy February 13th. Coming to you live, coming to you well, coming to you a little bit under the weather, but it's okay. It hasn't gotten any worse. And so it's just been this lingering cold for the last few days, but I'll sleep it off later. But coming to you excited. I'm ready for the weekend. Hopefully, you guys have something planned. If you're in a relationship, do something special for that person. Or if you're just celebrating yourself, then do something that lights up your soul and puts a smile on your face. And so if you're a guest here for Keep It Moving Group Coaching, I said, I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here. I see guests from across the country. So thank you guys for being here, being in this moment with me. We're going to kick this thing off. I usually have somebody bring us out on the field. And Miss Evangeline, how are you, my friend? How's baby girl doing?
She's doing well. She's one now, so she's so big. It's crazy to
Is
think
she,
a year has flown by.
is she already one?
Yeah, she's walking around, doing all of that good stuff.
Okay, I remember you doing your baby bump dance when we were having business planning it was, wow, it is so crazy how it's gone by that quick, right?
Yeah,
It is, the measurement of time changes drastically when you have children. I've been saying that since I had my babies, and this is crazy. So I appreciate you. Good to see your face. I am going to go over to Miss Jade. Jade, you've done this before, but since you were early on this call today, I'm going to turn it over to you. I was
yeah.
bring us out on the field. This person sets the tone, sets the sentiment, shares their energy, and does it their way. This is not pre-planned. This is not pre-rehearsed. This is on the spot, in the moment, coming out of the tunnel. So, Miss Jade, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, and let's roll, my friend.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day. I want you guys to look more at nature, look at more of the bright side of life versus look at the negative. There's so much that we could be ungrateful for in this life, but the reality is that the greater that we are more grateful, the better we are in life. I always truly believe that. I just want to encourage you guys that regardless of where you're at in your business, keep on pushing it. You can do this. You're gonna kick ass today. I know you all are. And I just want to let you know that you're individually each amazing and that you don't have to change for other people, but change for the better of yourself and change for the better of your business and your family. So
Wow.
regardless of what's going on right now, keep on pushing it forward, as Elias always says.
Well, I appreciate that, my friend, and wonderful, wonderful message. Brandy, I wanted to say hello because when you were on coaching in my dream, you and the family were in Paris, which is so weird. I don't know. But I'm glad you guys had a great time on your vacation in Paris. So I just want to say welcome back to coaching. I can see that you're no longer in
Th-
Paris.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you are manifest. I'm putting that on the vision board now. We're going to
That's
Paris,
right.
where
That's right.
apparently I've
That's right.
already been. So that's heck of funny.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't know why. Maybe I saw like the video of you in the in Trader Joe's with the jersey on, the Raiders jersey. So maybe that's what I was thinking about subconsciously. But you were in Paris with all the kids, and so welcome home, welcome home, Lisa. I'm glad the link worked for you. I don't know what happened. Maybe I typed it in wrong in the group chat, but here we are. Glad that you're here. So, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. I want to get everybody involved in the conversation. First off and foremost, I'm going to put a link in the chat down below in case you are on your phone. I'm going to copy this link, copy joining link, and I'm going to put it in the chat down below. Now, this part is going to ask for a little bit of participation, but since we are a day before Valentine's Day, I thought it would be applicable to ask a couple questions. And let me go ahead and drop this. Boom, bam, here. You guys have the link. It's in the chat down below. Now, what I wanted to do is I just want to ask you some very, very simple questions that I'm going to present on my screen. Now, if you have the ability to hit this QR code, hit the QR code. If you're not able to hit the QR code, then make sure that you go to the link that I put in the chat. So let's just pause for a quick second. It's the day before Valentine's Day. And so I wanted to ask you guys, what do you love about real estate? There's tons of things that we love about real estate, but I want to hear from you. This is called Slido. This will create a word cloud. So I want to hear from you guys. We'll pause for a quick second. I would put some music on, but it never conveys. And so I want to ask you guys, what do you absolutely love about real estate? So keep it coming, you guys. So helping people, freedom, making people homeowners, life-changing experiences for families, dream home, memories, freedom. All right, guys, keep it coming. We have quite a few people on the call today, so I want to keep the contributions coming in. Building wealth. All right, cool. What else you got? Client relationships, closing deals, abundance, memories, community. All right, cool. And I love how helping people is at the center of everything that we do. We're in this industry to truly make an impact in people's lives. And if done properly and you love on your people for a lifetime, you can do that over and over and over again. So absolutely love this. Agency over my time. Okay. I'm not too sure what that means, but I think I get it. Love making people smile, freedom, ability to make as much money as you want. Sky is the limit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I love this, you guys. So I'll give it a couple more seconds if anybody else is writing, and then I'm going to go to the next question. So I understand what you guys love about real estate. It is very clear, the freedom, the relationships, generational wealth, making people smile. I absolutely love all these answers, but let's love on ourselves a little bit, you guys. It's the day of love tomorrow. Obviously, we're out there to do things special for somebody else, express love, but let's love on ourselves a little bit. What do you love most about yourself? When you think about your intrinsic qualities, what make you an amazing human being, your ability to communicate, connect, fight through adversity, your perseverance, your resilience, your voice, your style, your swag, whatever it is, my resilience, I love this kindness. I want you guys to answer that because that's equally as important. Actually, that's more important than what we love about real estate. Like, what do we actually love about ourselves? And give yourself some love. Like, allow yourself to say, you know what? I love myself. I love myself for my positivity, my empathy, my compassion, my big heart, my kindness, my positivity. Multiple people have said empathy, balance and empathy, my open mindset. Let's see, finding joy in anything. I love this. I absolutely love this. Somebody wrote compassionate, ability to connect with purpose, generosity, adaptability. Wow, this is really, really good. Big heart. All right, cool. I got a couple other people writing right now, so let me allow that to come in. Let's see, what else did we get? My resilience. I am a force of care and love. Ooh, my diligence and follow through. Big heart. Unreasonable optimism. Wow, that's a really, really good one. Who put unreasonable optimism? I've never heard it put in that way. I've heard it in different contexts, but Cece, is that you?
Yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit about unreasonable optimism. What does that actually mean? I love how that sounds.
I just feel like you can always find a reason for things to be however they are, right? Because I think humans, that's what we do. We find to make a reason. Like I didn't get to here because. So I feel like when you're in it and you're in the ish, like there's a million reasons why you're in the ish. Like you could add it up, and I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't matter because like our friend said earlier about gratitude. So like whatever the crappy stuff is that, when shit hits the fan, shit hits the fan. I'm like, okay, well, here's my opportunity to be optimistic. Here's my opportunity to be grateful. Like, and that's the only reason I can pull myself out of bed on the really hard days.
Wow, I absolutely love this. I think Unreasonable Optimism is ideal for a series. Unreasonable Optimism sounds like the title of a book because I've read a book that's called Unreasonable Hospitality, but I love this. So I wanted to just put this on the screen. First off, understand what you love about this business to go to the previous one, and then understand what you truly love about yourself, you guys. Valentine's Day is all about sharing and expressing love. But I want you guys to really look at yourselves and say, this is what I love about myself. I love about myself. I love my energy, right? I love my energy and my personality, right? Some people don't like it, but I don't really care. I like it. It's my personality. And so if you don't like it, it's all good. But I appreciate this, you guys. Remind yourself of how amazing you are today. And let's go ahead and kick this thing off. We do have a couple guests on the line today. Thanks, my friend. I appreciate that. We do have some guests on the line today. We're going to have some fun. I got some things prepared. I want to come full circle on the conversations that we've been having about sales, sales leadership, language discipline, and all the things that we've been talking about over the course of the last couple weeks. But I do want to ask TT, since TT, you are right here. I could see you're always smiling. You're always, center for me. TT, for our guests on the line, what's something that they can take away or expect to take away from our time together today? Let's roll.
The first thing that comes to mind is getting pumped up.
Okay.
That's why I attend, because it definitely gives me the energy to do this, challenging job, actually, because we are all self-employed. Sometimes we need a coach like Elias to remind us that we can do it and to channel our inner qualities and gifts that each one of us have. And sharing experiences is pretty awesome. So I love how we just started this off with things that we love about ourselves and things that we love about real estate, because we have to be reminded. Sure, it's in our head, but when we all share the same thing, it totally helps. So I love the
I'm
powwow session.
going to tell you something I love about you, my friend. So I saw a clip of you at the marketing meeting yesterday. And I love how when someone passes you a mic, like you just light up, right? There's people in my world that will be like, no, 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 don't give me the mic, don't give me the mic. Give it to me. Whether it is singing a song at Hustler's Lunch, whether it's you speaking about something, whether it's you talking about the marketing meeting and why we should all continue to come to this marketing meeting. I love that you light up anytime you're given an opportunity to speak on a mic. Like,
I like to be center of attention, but I also don't.
yeah, coming straight from the Zumba instructor that doesn't want to be the center of attention, that is the center of attention, that is really good with the center of attention. So I love the oxymoron there, my friend. But yeah, it's just incredible to see how you really light up and say, yeah, I got a voice, give it to me, Elias, give it to me. And so I appreciate that. That's what I love about you, my friend. So yeah, I wanted to start out there. What do you love about real estate? And then what do you love about yourself? Because I think sometimes we forget to love on ourselves. Right? We're quick to love on everyone else, share gratitude with everybody else, but be grateful for who you are. Your voice, your talents, your abilities, what you have fought through, who you have become, what you are doing to build, to grow, your resilience, all those things. Remind yourself of how badass you guys are, because everyone on here, whether you've sold 50 homes or whether you're on your first 3 homes, it doesn't matter. You guys are all beautiful lights in this industry. And remember what I said earlier this week. Light travels faster than sound. Your light, your energy that you're putting off, people feel that before you utter a word. So go out there and be amazing lights in this business. And let's get right into our conversation. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to come full circle on some of the things that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. We've been talking about body language physiology, spoken communication, written communication, language discipline, making sure that each of you understand this at a very conscious level. You guys are leaders, right? You guys are leaders. And the moment that a consumer feels that, there's a sense of connection. There's a bond, like, okay, this person's got me. This person, Sure's got me. She's going to guide me through this process. But the moment that you start to stutter, the moment that you start to break in your words, that you're not fluid with what you have to say, if your energy is off, people feel that. People feel that. And so I want to come full circle on this conversation because I think we've covered some really cool ground over the course of the last couple of weeks. And so I'm going to ask some questions. And before I do so, not only remember who you are, but remember where you are on these mornings. It is 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you chose to be here, I want you to be present and be in this moment. I want to encourage you to get involved in the conversation. If you're the sleeper on the call, meaning that you're here, but you don't tend to throw your hand up because why? Because you get nervous, your voice gets a little shaky, you don't know exactly what you're going to say, and you don't want to say the wrong things. That's okay. What I want to push you to do today is be the person that shows up and just raises their hand. Because I could look around the room and I could see the growth that has happened from people just being bold and throwing their hand up. If you're afraid of public speaking, well, this is a platform for public speaking, and this can be a catapult for you to build confidence. I've seen it time and time again. So I'm going to get right into my slides for the morning, you guys, and we're going to get right into the conversation. Today is Action Friday. If you're new to Keep It Moving Group Coaching, we do Action Friday. This is a culmination of all the things that people were able to create during the week. But what I wanted to do is, first and foremost, is I wanted to kind of unpack some of the things that we've learned, and I wanted to hear directly from you. Today is not exactly about what you've learned, but more importantly, what have you been able to apply, and what has moved, and how has that changed in your communication, in your written communication, and what you've observed from your consumers, from a body language, physiology, all the things that we've been talking about. You see, it's important that I understand what you learned, but it's more important to understand what you have applied. So let's get right into this conversation. That's my first question. What did you apply? When we unpack our conversations over the last few weeks, what phrases did you eliminate this week? And let's just start this week because it's easy to see. What assertive phrases did you replace it with? And where did you stop asking for permission and start leading? I want you guys to share with me the moments that you might have caught yourself. Maybe you were using loose language before or timid language before. Where did you catch yourself? What are the things that you have learned and applied in your communication with your consumers? So I'm going to pause for a quick second. I want somebody to throw their hand up and get very, very clear and share with me what's been applied from the things that you've taken away from coaching. So let's go. Alexis, you are up first. And then we'll go Gary Archer. I appreciate you guys throwing your hands up first. So let's go Alexis Flexus from Long Beach to Texas. Let's roll, my friend.
I've just been a little bit, like you said, more assertive instead of just checking in. I'm kind of going in like, okay, what's our game plan? What is the next step that we're gonna do in order for you to purchase your home? Instead of just saying, hey, just checking in, like, where are we at right now? Just being more assertive, being more confident, being more bold, and asking, like, what is our game plan moving forward?
God, I absolutely love this, Alex. Even when you said those words, they came out assertive. Even your tone, it was a downswing versus, yeah, this is kind of what I've learned. I know you could hear the boldness in your voice. You could hear it. I could feel it. And asking a consumer, I understand that you've been waiting, so help me understand, just so I can best serve you. What needs to happen in order for you to feel comfortable taking the next step? What needs to happen in order for you to feel comfortable taking the next step? What information would you need to feel comfortable about the decisions of today? Tell me, right? I want to best serve you. And if we don't ask assertive questions, we won't get assertive answers. And so, Alexis, I really appreciate that. Let's go, Gary Archer. Srey, you'll be on deck, and then we'll go over to Nishan. Gary Archer, let me go back to the questions on the screen. I'll put these up, big dog, and let's roll. What do we got for us?
Man, there was a mind shift, like a total mind shift probably 5 weeks ago on this call for me. I was always assertive, but I was politely aggressive, asking questions, like creating a moment of easy answers, like, and because that's where I wanted to be. 5 weeks ago is when I heard you say that we decide the choice, we tell them when we're going to meet, we tell them what we're doing next, allow them space to say, no, I don't want to do that. Don't allow. There's too much guesswork when we ask them what do you want to do next. There's so many things. So I try. What I've been doing the last 5 weeks is drilling down. The moment I'm talking to them the second time, I'm re-talking about what we talked about the first time. I said, man, if we're trying to get in a house by March, you said your lease is up in March, we definitely have to get pre-approved now. We definitely got to find what neighborhood we're looking for now. And don't be afraid, we might be able to buy a house now because the seller might buy, the seller might buy down your lease to get in the house. So let's not let your lease end. Let's just start going. And that's kind of where I've been at. Like, I don't even give them the 2 days no more. I don't even be like, hey, how's Saturday or Sunday? If I'm talking to them, I'm saying I'm setting up today. Today, I'm going to San Francisco. Are you available this afternoon? And that's it. It's no, I'm not. Yes, I am. I don't. And because I'd rather get a no than a maybe. Does that make sense? I'd rather get a no than a maybe. And, maybes will ruin your life. I'm from the music industry, and you'll walk around with some maybes. In real estate, I noticed that too. You'll fall in love with some buyers' maybes. Buyers will come around and trick you into thinking things are going to happen. And then instead of driving the car, you're in their car. They're letting you drive. They're driving. They're pulling over. They're stopping. And you're like, when are we going to drive again? No one wants to hear that. You got to remind them where we're going.
Man, I absolutely love this. I feel that when you guys stand firm as being a leader, what you're doing is you're reducing friction and you're reducing guesswork, because you have to think about the psychology of a consumer during this process. They have so many things on their mind. The last thing they want to think about is, what do we do next, right? You're very clear with what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why we're doing it. And you're setting clear expectations and next steps. That reduces their stress of, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Oh my God, I don't understand all of this. It's okay. I got you. Here's what we do next. So really good stuff, Gary. Let's go to Srey, and then we'll go to Nishant, and then we'll switch gears in the next part of the conversation. So I'll put this back on the screen if you just need it for a reference, but let's go ahead, Srey.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I actually had a lead from the Flex Fund that I was able to book an appointment with, and this was with a few calls that we had in the past where you were teaching us about being less passive and being more direct and taking charge and being the leader in the conversation. And so I remember just giving that lead a call and just instead of saying, hey, this is today with EXP Realty, just checking in. Hey, I'm calling you from EXP Realty. I see that you've been checking out this property in the Oakland, San Leandro area. I'm actually going to be in this weekend doing a private tour. Are you available to check this out at this time? And I was able to book the appointment right there at that call. So just, yeah, taking charge and then remembering to just go direct, like stop being around the bush, stop being passive. And that's something that I'm learning is just cut that out, period.
Leadership first. It is not pressure. It is not a push. It is leading. That is it. We are leaders. And if I can help you all become great leaders in your communication, in your written, in your physiology, in how you carry yourself, my friends, you will have more people wanting to do business with you. It's not a theory. This has been proven time and time again. So today, I appreciate those contributions. Let's go to Nishant, then we'll go TT, and then we'll shift gears in the conversation. Nishant, what do you have for us, big dog?
So you'll be happy that I have a hot lead. They are from overseas. They want to sell their house here. So I was having a conversation with them yesterday, and something came up. They're like, "Oh, it will be easy if my renter buys my house." I'm like, "Here's the thing. Like, if they know your situation, they might lowball you. So I'm going to be your advocate, and I'm going to make sure you get the best deal." So I told them very clearly, like there will be some times in future where I will be not against you, but I would not accept all the things you are telling me to do. I will advocate what is best for you, but you may not like it. So going forward, remember that like I'm being your advisor. So going forward, I will say no to you and like be ready for that. So
Okay, listen, man, I absolutely love this because we have to be bold enough to tell the consumer what they need to hear, not what we think they want to hear. We have to be bold enough to tell them what they need to hear, the ugly truth sometimes. And you have to be bold enough to tell a buyer that that's the wrong house for you, right? I know that you want that house, but this doesn't pencil out. There's too much work that needs to be done. The inspection reports are too in depth. The quality of life that you're going to have fixing all these things, it doesn't make sense. I suggest that you walk from this house. Like that's telling people what they need to hear versus what they want to hear and being subservient. And so, Nishan, I really appreciate that on a very high level. Let's go, T2. What do you have for us, my friend?
So definitely a few weeks ago, like Gary had mentioned, taking the lead and telling our clients what they need to do. So I picked up a lead from an open house that I'm so excited. They had a realtor, and I told them, I said, hey, if you don't want to work with your realtor, you always have me, girlfriend. And so she actually called me and said, we want to work with you instead. I said, cool. And I got the BRBC signed, excited about that. First time home buyer. She's super nervous. She's sending me all these other properties. And then she said, I really love this one. I pulled up the comps and she's very nervous. And I said, okay, cool. I said, well, it's time to put in the offer. Really? I said, yeah, it's time to put in the offer. So we actually ended up putting in the offer. And we're going to get countered. But the good thing is I also took my leadership skills over to the negotiation table. The listing agent said, hey, we're probably going to counter offer you $770, $10,000 credit. I said, well, we might be able to make $770 work, but you need to give us a $20,000 credit. So he said, let me see what I can do. And I said, cool. So we're waiting for that counter to be accepted.
I mean, you guys, what are you hearing? Like if you haven't already spoke, like what are you hearing from what has been shared already? Like what are you hearing in the tone, in the approach, in the leadership conversation? Like what are you guys hearing? I want to hear some takeaways from you guys because I thought what was just shared by everyone that just contributed was really, really powerful. So I want to hear what you guys are hearing. I know what I hear, but let's go to some new faces. Jose, I want to go over to you. Then we'll go to Nikki. Actually, ladies first. We'll go Nikki first, then Jose, and then Evangeline. So let's go, Nikki. What do you have for us, my friend? What are you hearing?
Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. What I just heard is she just sounds just very like confident and assertive, but she's being polite. The fact is, yeah, like why wouldn't we want our clients to choose us? The fact she was like, hey, I mean, I'm here, even though she knew this person had a realtor, she still felt the confidence to say, hey, I mean, I'd be more than happy to assist you. A lot of us want to say that though when we hear someone say, oh, I'm already working with someone. But to hear her say that and then to actually be like, well, yeah, I think I do want to work with you. That usually doesn't happen, but the fact you put yourself out there for that opportunity to happen, you made it work. So that's a very inspiring, like to me, because I feel kind of hesitant too sometimes when people give me their objections to like, no, I'm working with so and so. So I'll say, okay, great. Well, when was the last time you worked with them? You know, so the fact you can politely still say, hey, I'd love to work with you if there's any changes, I think that's great. So congratulations on that, girl.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. Really good takeaways. It's what I've seen from my seat is that there's just been growth, right? Incremental growth over time. You obviously already had it in you, but you had to find the confidence in real estate and the bold people that are going to ask the questions and say, you know what? I might get knocked in the jaw on this one, but I'm just going to ask it anyways. That is boldness. And so Nikki, really good takeaway. Jose, what are you hearing, my friend? Because you weren't on the previous calls, and so it's really good that you're here now. Like, what are you hearing?
I think confidence is key, and to have people work with you, they want to know that you know your stuff. And I think pushing with confidence makes people want to work with you and go forward and want to buy a house, right? So
that's right. That's right. Well, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Let's go Evangeline, and then we'll go Sarah all the way in from New Jersey. Let's go Evangeline. What do we have for us?
Evangelines right now from coming in from Virginia, but
you're already in Virginia. Oh my God, that's why we miss
DMV.
you. That's why we miss you, my friend. What do you got for
listen, I
us?
miss all of y'all too. But what I'm hearing is that confidence equals competence, because we need to stop seeing ourselves as if we're any different from any other industry, right? When we go and we hire a plumber, we don't, to fix our sink or whatever, we don't hear the synopsis on like, well, I mean, I don't know, you could do this or you could do that. We're waiting for the plumber to give us the diagnosis of what we need to do, right? And we hired them to do a job. And similarly, we're hired on to do a job. And I think that we need to move as such that like, we're professionals in this industry. So of course I'm going to drop that mic. Like but of course, so confidence equals competence.
Yeah, confidence equals competence. I think that you've said that before on the calls, but it rings so true on the conversation that we've been having lately. It's been all about language discipline, being authoritative, being assertive, and making sure that we are focusing on leadership first. Leadership first, you guys, in all things that we're doing with our consumers. So Evangeline, good to see you. I know it's beautiful there. I know it's different there, but you're shaking your head no.
Freaking out here. I got iced out by an ice storm. I never seen single degrees, much less negative. I don't like this.
And then it will get warm, and then it will get humid, and then we're going to have different gripes. And so, but it is still beautiful to the eye. So I appreciate you being here. Let's go, Sarah, then we'll go over to David, and then we'll shift gears in the conversation. What do we got, Sarah?
Hi, Elias. Hi, everyone. Everyone that spoke and shared the real life experience, I noticed they're very confident, very protective of their clients. Communication skills is 10 out of 10. So if I was a client, these people will definitely be hired because they're trustworthy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You guys can feel it. Don't you know when you're in the presence of a leader? You know when you're in the presence of a leader. And you also when you're in the presence of somebody that doesn't feel powerful, right? It doesn't, and I'm not saying manipulation, right? Powerful, right? A leader feels a sense of I am powerful because I feel confident that I can walk you through this process. I got you. When you utter those words, I got you, a consumer feels that, right? They could also feel the opposite of that. So Sarah, I really appreciate your narrative on that. Let's go. David, what do you have for us? And then we're going to shift gears in the conversation. Let's roll, big dog.
It's like their tone went from asking for permission to like a teacher who has a syllabus and is telling the class, this is what we're going to be doing throughout this semester, and this is how it's going to go. It's leadership.
That's right. That's right. So let's continue cruising on, you guys. There's just a few things, and I think that this was addressed by everybody that just spoke. But when you think about your flow right now, whether or not you threw your hand up or not, it's okay. I want you to just do some reflection. Where did you, in the last couple weeks or in the last few days, where did you take control instead of deferring? Where did you slow a client down instead of chasing them? Right? Let me share with you the reality of what's actually happening in this local market here. Let me give you some perspective, Mr. Jones, of what's happening inside of the market here, because we're in what's called a microclimate. Let me give you the truth behind the headlines and the reality of what's actually happening in the Brentwood real estate market, right? That's you slowing them down, reframing the conversation, and taking back your leadership role. Where did you hold the frame when emotions showed up? Obviously, we're dealing with heightened emotions. We're dealing with know-it-alls some of the time. We're dealing with people that have their own agenda. And so you have to ask yourself, where did I hold the frame and hold the line when emotions showed up? And here's the prompt for you guys. Where did you act like the professional and not the order taker? You see, we're not out here to open doors for people. Yes, okay, all right, we'll go here. Okay, cool. No, you guys are the ones that are in the driver's seat. And so you have to own that position and own it and say leadership first. If you guys take anything from this call, I want this to echo leadership first. Echo that and echo and echo and echo. Let's continue cruising on. Let's go to the mindset application of the things that we've been talking about. What I want to ask you guys, and feel free if you have not spoke to get your hand up. What thought did you catch and correct this week? You see, we talk a lot about personal and human development in this space. We talk a lot about vulnerability, emotional awareness, emotional acuity, all things. So what thought did you catch and correct this week? Where did old fear show up and how did you override that? Right? Maybe that old fear was you getting on camera. Maybe that old fear was you actually knocking on the doors, but you found the intestinal fortitude to go out there and actually do that activity. And then you were able to override that fear. And what discomfort did you lean into instead of avoidance this week? I'm going to put those on the screen right now, and I'm going to encourage somebody that has not raised their hand to answer one, two, or all of these questions. So I'll pause for a quick second, just like Gary, just like Srey, just like Sarah, just like everybody else that spoke. I need more bold people to answer these questions. This is our mindset application piece. So who's it going to be? And don't be shy, because you know what happens. All right, cool. So Jennifer, let's go. I'm going to put the questions back up on the screen here, my friend. And then I need two other people to get involved in the conversation. So there she is. There she is. Hey, let's go, Jennifer. What do you have for us?
Hello, happy Friday, everybody. So I think what I'm about to share kind of touches a little bit on everything. And as being very new to EXP, being a new agent, I think the biggest fear that comes up every single day since I've started is I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Everything is new. The systems are new. I'm like, what do I do with follow-up boss? What do I do with Real Scout? So all those doubts come up every single day. And I remember when I went to the meeting last week and I met everyone, I felt super inspired. And I remember my mentor, Kelly, telling me, like, just set up an open house. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not even ready for an open house. Like, what do you mean? But I decided to push that fear aside yesterday and decided to reach out to a number that I saw on Slack. And because I noticed the house was in Alameda and I live in Alameda, and I was like, oh, well, it's right down the street, basically. Like, let me just, throw it out there and let me reach out to this person. So I reached out to the agent and I was like, hi, I'm a new agent. I want to host my first open house and I would love to assist you on Monday. And I could tell when they responded that they were a bit hesitant to go with me because they were like, oh, you've never hosted an open house before. And I decided to not show him my fear. And I was like, you know what? Yes, it's my first open house. Super excited to learn about the market, but I also have a team and I have a mentor that can assist me with this process. So that kind of like, he was very open to just like giving it to me, but before he really didn't want to. He was like, oh, you've never done it before, But I showed up confidently in the text messages and then I reached out to Kelly, asked for some advice. So I think that's where I kind of beat that fear of I'm not ready.
Wow. All right. So I have goosebumps right now. And the reason why is you said something and I wrote it down after you said it. And I think it's really, really powerful because this is like she checked in with herself. She said, I decided not to show my fear. Right. That's a conscious decision, right? There's a moment that it's going to happen where you're fearful and you have to decide. That's a crossroads. You have to decide, am I going to allow the fear to stifle me from moving forward and freeze? Or am I going to decide to not let my fear show? God, that's really, really powerful. I appreciate how you articulated that. I don't know about for you guys, but did that land for you? Because it certainly landed for me. Yeah, absolutely. I see Guava Road shaking her head. Yes, aka Kia. Yes, Queen. So wonderful, great contribution, Jennifer. Let's go over to Blessing. Blessing. I'll throw the questions back up on the board here. And let's go here. Really, really good contribution. Let's go to Blessing, my friend. Always poetic in her shares. So, what do you have for us, my friend?
I think it's the last. Yes. So, what discomfort did you lean into instead of avoiding? Something that I've become painfully aware of over the last year is I get visibility hangover where I'm showing up, I'm showing up, I am showing up. And then someone said something to me, and it literally just feels like I'm too seen. So I will hide a bit. The thing is, with intensity and all that we've been posting, my videos are everywhere. So I'm getting content, like I'm getting messages through Instagram. But what has been the most uncomfortable in the past are those people that come up to me because I can't really hide the discomfort. You have to lean into it. You still have to be present in the conversation. And especially this week, I was at two different networking events. One of them, I'm now a chamber ambassador for businesses. So going out and being able to speak. And in there, a lot of the things that I've been doing were discussed. And I just, as I felt myself starting to, shrink a little bit, I actually sat forward at the table and just shifted my body into the conversation versus shrinking. And that is something that I felt in the moment, like just the ease, like even now, like as I get a little uncomfortable about talking about it, it's a shift into, it's training myself to recognize that what we are doing, people will see us. And if there's something that you're uncomfortable with, just like Jennifer said, decide not to be in the moment and stay present. Like if you just stay present with the conversation and hear what they're saying, you can shift the conversation from your discomfort to what they are and then learn more about them. So I was able to have some really great conversations and just an awareness of my community and different business owners that typically I would have like retreated into my head and started to like hide a little bit, that again led me to step forward and say yes to the ambassador position and speaking more freely about the things that I'm doing outside of real estate too.
God, this is really, really good. You said something and I wrote down also that this visibility hangover, right? It's like we're doing the activity, we're getting the engagement, but are we prepared mentally, spiritually, and emotionally for that type of attention that we are going to get? Because we're doing the activity to get the engagement. Well, if we're not prepping ourselves to what that actually looks like and means, and the more eyes and the more hands and the more, oh, I saw that, and like more conversations, then like we're not preparing ourselves the proper way. So blessing, really good stuff. Was that an additional hand or was that the old hand?
Same hand. I'm trying to figure out where my mouse is.
Okay. All right. All right. Good stuff. I want to pause here for a quick second. I would love to get any thoughts, contributions, insight, or dialogue based on the conversation right now. Does anybody have anything that they want to share additionally? Going once, going twice. All right, cool. Let's get into this. And this is the results in life and business. You see, as we think about where we are, Friday, Action Friday, what's been able to be accomplished this week, so on and so forth. What I want to ask you is what changed because of the action you took this week? Did you create a conversation, which in Blessing's case, it sounded like she did. It sounded like Srey was able to book an appointment from that. Did you have momentum that was built? Did you have confidence that was built? And or did you create some peace? Right? You said no to something and it created some peace. It created some downtime for you. What result surprised you the most this week? And so, does anybody have a thought, a contribution, being Action Friday? What changed because of the action you took this week? Does anybody have anything other than the people that have already shared on the call today? Anybody want to share? So, Lisa, I'm going to go to you. Thank you for throwing your hand up, my friend. What do you have for us?
Good morning. Sorry, my audio was off for a minute, so I didn't hear some of the conversation, but I am really happy with the appointment set this week. I have been plugging away at my database, plugging away at my farming. I got a call from someone who I've been farming for over a year now. She is an empty nester. I originally thought that I was going to speak to her about her rental property around the corner. Sat down with her yesterday for over 2 hours, had just the best time getting to know her. She's a neighbor, and she may wind up selling and buying another property for herself in the near future from just the cultivation of my database and my farming, and also got a conversation going with a lead that started with a land purchase, and now it may be a multi-million-dollar thing. Who knows?
That's right. That's right. And you gave me some inside knowledge on that yesterday. And so I appreciate that. And as you guys look at this, right, as you can see on this list here, it's not all about just the production. Now, obviously, I want to know, did you get a conversation appointment, momentum, confidence? But see, the last two are that's for you, right? Did you feel that you gained in confidence this week? Even if you took some L's, was it really an L because you gained the confidence? You got a little bit more, understanding of the ability that you have, and then you found some peace this week. You guys, this is all full circle, and so I appreciate your contributions, Lisa. Blessing, I'm gonna have you take over for a quick second. Julia, we're gonna get your contribution. Let's roll, my friend.
Hey, Blessing, thanks for sharing that because I also feel like I get visibility hangover a lot. And I think, well, this week I hired a VA, which I'm really excited to do, but I was so worried when I first started reaching out to people because I can get very like picky about how certain things are done. And then when I took a step back and realized it, I'm picky because I don't think mentally I'm ready to move forward in my business because the reality is if I don't hire the VA, I will not get any better than I am currently. So I have to be okay with being comfortable and just like getting over that mental hurdle of someone else in the business and pushing things forward. And in return, it's gotten me a lot of peace. I feel really excited about the next step and hiring the VA. And I just need to get over myself and know that someone who's trained can probably do it better than me, who is all over the place all the time. So yeah.
I love this. And Blessing, I'm going to turn it back over to you in a second, just get some thoughts from you on that. I'll tell you what, one of the single best decisions that I ever made in my professional career is hiring Judith. Right. So Judith is my executive assistant. She's on these calls. You guys don't see much of her, but she is a huge, huge part of the success of not only Keep It Moving internally for Fast Real Estate, but the success of Keep It Moving externally in the real estate community. She has been a vital part of my success because the things that I don't enjoy doing, I just choose not to do it because I have Judith. And then when it comes to the marketing and the creative, I have a pretty good eye for marketing and creation. I feel like I have a decent eye for that. Well, but I have to also think about the time, right? The time it takes me to create these things are a lot longer than it would take Roma. And so then Roma is my right hand when it comes to everything marketing. And early on, Julia, here's where I was. It was 2020, 2021. I need an assistant. I need them in the office. I need to be able to see them. I need to be able to talk with them. I need a whiteboard with them. And that was my mentality. And let's pay that person X amount. Like I need them. And like, I was so against it. I didn't want to give up that control. And then I did a panel interview with a bunch of different virtual assistants and I found Judith. And I'll tell you what, my life changed. My business changed. I grew and she's able to take the things off my plate that she is great at and I'm not that good at. So, Julia, first off, congratulations on surrendering and relinquishing some of that stuff. And then also trusting that somebody else can do the job that you're going to give them. That's clear communication as a leader and expectations. That's going to help you develop in all areas of your business. So I appreciate that. Blessing, any thoughts, contributions on anything that's been covered, anything that I missed from Julia's contribution? Let's go back over to you.
He did mention, the visit, it's looking at the holes in your business and recognizing that there are holes. If you're a people pleaser or perfectionist, that is probably the hardest thing to identify and say, there's something wrong or there's a gap in my business because we keep putting all of this energy into it. But that's the way that we grow, because it goes back to the book, 10x is easier than 2x. We are never going to be perfect in every part of this business. And we, even if we are or close to it, if we continue to spread ourselves so thin across the business without delegating, we will hit a ceiling. So, hiring a VA, writing out your processes, using the team, or even partnering, it just is leverage that makes us better. And that isn't a sign of weakness. It isn't a sign of you can't handle it. It's actually a bigger catalyst to growth. And in that uncertainty is where, you face so many more pieces about yourself, and that growth just continues to compound. So, congratulations to Julia. Looking forward to everything her VA is going to do. And everyone who's ready to, look in the mirror and say, what actually am I good at and what can I focus in and what do I need to be better at? So
Yeah,
I like it.
I love it. And I believe that when you have the right person in the right seat, they allow you to stay focused on what lights you up in this business and allows you to walk right in your purpose, right? I'll ask Judith to do something. She'll be done with it in 30 minutes when it would have taken me 4 hours, right? Because she's the expert on that. I'm the expert on human development. And so I appreciate that, Julia. Thank you for the contributions. Blessing. I'm going to pause for a quick second. Judith, if you hear this, if you can you put the link in for Keep It Moving topics? I want to put that in the chat down below. And here's what I want you guys to do. If there's something that you guys want me to cover in coaching, I want you guys to submit your request and submit your responses. And if I feel that's applicable for the masses, I want to make sure that we cover that here. If it's not applicable here, then maybe we schedule an in-person training. Because I was thinking about this. I'll give you a quick example. What I was thinking the other day was about our consumer journey and how we take our consumers through the journey and how we do like a showings, right? Let's just say our showings. Well, when we actually go to our buyer tour, what does that actually look like? Are we bringing something that is edited, or excuse me, is branded? Is it something that looks good? Is it something that we're bringing them in our folder? Is it something that speaks about the process? Is it identifiable? So on and so forth. Is it a map to all the places we're going? Does it have all of the information about the property? Does it have local schools and local restaurants? Like, what are we actually doing on the showings? And so I think that there's areas in our presentation that deserve punctuation and deserve a elevation. And so if there's things that you want to learn more about, if there's things like this, for example, you've never seen Cloud CMA or other tools, like let's work together to make sure that we're enhancing all parts of the consumer journey. Because when we really think in moments, what we're going to find is there's opportunities for us to grow. And so if you can pause for a quick second, listen, you guys, I need you on this because I want to best serve you at the highest level. I need you on this to go. I didn't think about doing it. Yeah, so it's a good example. So now we're going to share different ideas. So what we're going to do is go to the Keep It Moving topic / ideas. You guys are Keep It Moving. This is not just my group. You guys are Keep It Moving. So if you have thoughts, contributions, or in that, if you write out a course or something that you want covered and put in parentheses, I feel like I could cover this, right? I'm down to do that presentation, Elias. Put that in there. Like, I want to get your guys' voices and I want your contributions. And so grab that link. But if I was to do a course on how to do an effective buyer tour, is that something that you guys would want to learn? What to bring, how to brand it? Is that something that would elevate the consumer experience? Raise your hand, give me an emoji if you were with that conversation. See, that's just an example. And so I appreciate that. So grab that link. Your contributions are definitely desired to see what can we do to make these presentations, these coaching sessions, even more impactful for you. So last but not least, before we break session, I want you guys to think about your call volume. And I thought about this because I saw a post from Tim Toole yesterday, and I want you to be bold, find an accountability homie, that's on you. And I want you guys to commit to this. Now, some of you will, some of you will not, but those that do are going to get closer to a conversation and appointments. 20 calls a day for 5 days. And I just want you to think about this, like isolate yourself and make the 20 calls within the database, from your open house leads, from your sphere, whatever that is, 20 calls a day. And then move to 25 and the weeks come in, then 30, then 40, so on and so forth. But by the week's end or the month's end, you have dialed 200 plus people per week. You see, that's when appointments start stacking. What we don't do enough of is concerted effort, time, and energy in actually making sales calls. And so I want to encourage you guys to do that. And imagine if you stacked 200 calls every single week, it was 200 calls, right? Where would your business be in a quarter? Where would your business be in 2 months, right? Like, I want you to think about that, because as you're learning these sales skills, as you're learning the philosophy of leadership first, assertive language, language discipline, right? Put those things into action. Start hitting the phones. And are people going to say no? Absolutely. Are they going to hang up on you? Absolutely. That's part of this game. But if you could do 20 calls every single day, hell or high water, and you continuously do that, my friends, you're going to find tons of opportunities for you to book more appointments. So I'll challenge you to do that. And what you'll do is you'll tell a friend, you'll report it to them, like, hey, Blessing, I'm going to make my 20 calls a day. Actually, I'm going to make 25 calls a day. Cool. I'm with you. I'm making mine too. Awesome. High five. Let's connect at the end of the week and share with each other what worked, what didn't work, and what appointments that we set. Nikki, let's go to you, and then we'll start wrapping session.
Okay. So I'm just curious, for those who do call, like I do call like 20, 25 calls a day. And what I do is I write down the names. Is anyone else doing anything different? Like how are you able to track the calls you make? So that's what I'm doing too, Elias. And whether I get responses or not, like I'm able to reflect at the end of the week to see, wow, like I've called at least 150 people or so. So that right there, like whether I get responses or not, it makes me feel good that I'm putting in the work. And then maybe next week, maybe I'll call maybe like 5 more calls a day or so. But I'm just curious, like how is everyone tracking the calls that they're making?
So the best way to do this, my friend, is to log your activity, log a call in Follow-Up Boss, and then make a note in the notes section. That's it. So just log a call, right? After you make that call, my suggestion is that you start to use the Follow-Up Boss number and call all of the leads through the Follow-Up Boss CRM. But if you don't, it's okay. But at least go in there, log a call, put a note, right? Left message 213 at 2 o'clock, right? Log that call. So then you could run a filter for 30 days, 2 weeks, 1 week, and it'll show you how many calls that you logged. And then if you go to the back end, I'll show you that on another time. You could actually see it. It gives you a report of how many calls you logged, how many text messages you sent, how many emails you sent, to give you an accurate depiction. And I think we're going to do more of that in coaching. I want to pull up Follow-Up Boss. That way you can see the leaderboard on Follow-Up Boss of who's making the most calls. So Nikki, I love that you're doing that. If anyone wants to be Nikki's accountability homie, please feel free to reach out to her. Alexis, let's go to you. And then if we have time, Nishan, I'll get over to your hand. Alexis, what do you have for us, my friend?
I was just gonna say Follow-Up Boss really works for me. And also on there, you can put a task, so the cadence of how often you follow up with them, whether it's every couple days, a week, every 2 weeks. So it's really helpful. I really like it. Also, you can play back your conversation with them, and it'll also do like a summary of what the conversation was and kind of guide you in how you can follow up with them for your next conversation. So it's actually really nice. I really like it.
Yeah, that's why I feel that the Follow-Up Boss number is really, really important, because it summarizes everything. We're only human. It keeps track of everything. So really good stuff, Alexis. Nishant, let's go less than 30 seconds. Big dog, what was your contribution?
I have a question actually. So, like, is it okay to text people instead of calling because you have not been in touch with them for a long time?
Yeah, so I want us to be careful, because texting people, there's obviously things that are happening, FCC rules, regulations, and things like that. However, if they're in our database and we have experienced some type of past communication, I feel that a text message would be okay. But if it's a blind text message because we have no communication, I would caution against that. Caution against that.
Okay, I know these people for long, like,
Yeah.
okay,
Then send them a text message.
okay, thank you.
All right, cool. Let's get one key thought, one key takeaway before we wrap session. I'm going to go over to Brandy. Brandy, one key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today. Welcome home from Petty. So let's go, Brandy.
I'm super excited. I went to Paris. I don't even know how to feel about this. I can't believe I survived Paris with 5 kids. But hey, thanks, Elias. My key thought and takeaway from this conversation is, for one, be confident. Stop looking at ourselves as newbies. Obviously, there's tons of growth. However, doesn't mean that we're nothing. So have the confidence. And Evangeline's message of confidence and competence. I've realized that the more competence you have in something, your confidence grows. As your confidence grows, your leadership tends to expand. As your leadership expands, you're able to execute better. So I just feel like, in all essence of that, that is like the key takeaway. Be a learner, be susceptible to growth, allow yourself to grow, and just go out there and keep it moving.
I love it. I love it. Last thing before we go, you guys, every single quarter, I made a decision on this yesterday. Me and Judith had a conversation. Every single quarter, we are going to do an in-person, keep it moving quarterly group coaching session. So that first one will happen on Friday, the 27th. If you are local, if you are a guest, you are welcome as well. This is going to be in Oakland. This is going to be at our headquarters. And I may switch to other locations, but once a quarter, we're going to get together. And instead of doing our Friday session at 8:30 a.m., we're going to do an in-person coaching session. It will be similar to what we do here, but we're all going to be in person. We're going to have some fun. I'll have an icebreaker, and we'll also have lunch provided for you guys, and maybe even some mimosas afterwards. Not during coaching, but afterwards. And so I'm going to do that. The first one is already on the calendar. That's my commitment, that every single quarter, we're going to do an in-person session. Also, be on the lookout for records and real estate. So I'm going to do another records and real estate here at my home. I can only fit about 40 people in my loft. And so I have to cut it off. So I'll put an RSVP list out there, and whoever RSVPs first, once I get to 40, I will cut it off, but I'm going to welcome you into my home. We did this a few months ago. It was great. We had a lot of fun. We had some food. We had music. And so we're going to do that again here at my house. So I'm committed to making sure I'm making the biggest impact for you guys. Make sure you fill out that form. That way I can see what's best for you and to make sure that I deliver at the highest level. So you guys, if you need anything over the weekend, please let me know. And as always, my friends, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and make today a day that truly matters. Peace, my friends.